Before we get into today's video, I do want to let you guys know that this video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Please remember to be kind to everybody everywhere, in your everyday life, in your home, in the grocery store, and especially in the comment section down below. Please do not show hate to anybody, anywhere. Good morning, my lovelies, my beauties, my friends. My name is Christina and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, thank you so much for clicking on this video. I really hope that you will subscribe, stick around, take a chance in hearing some things that I have to say. And if you are a returning subscriber, y'all already know, y'all are my babies. So good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everybody doing today? I hope you all are having an amazing day. I hope you all have had a wonderful weekend. I hope everybody got to do something fun. Past weekend, what did we do? Oh, we went out to dinner. We took Jaden to a birthday party. It was a good time. So I'm sure you guys are noticing that I'm in a different area. I'm in my living room of my house filming this right now. Just wanted a little change of scenery. If you hear the noise in the background at any times, that is Jasper, our cat, that is just been chilling all morning. As soon as I turn the camera on and start talking to something that ain't him, honey, he's all over the place. He's not having it. If you guys don't already know me though, hi, my name is Christina. I do have a second channel, which is Casually Christina. I also have a Patreon. My Patreon is for 18 and up. Over there we go live. As a matter of fact, when I'm done filming this, I'm getting ready to go over there and go live with them in just a few minutes. We do more personal story times. It's a more tight-knit environment, I would describe. And I also have a $2 tier over there where all of the videos that cannot go on YouTube because of their terms and policies, they go over there. We look at crime scene photos, all that type of stuff. It's always linked down in the description box, as well as my Instagram and my Facebook if you'd like to come and check me out. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about Chris Rock. Now, this is just kind of like spur of the moment thing. I can't help it, you guys. I've been completely engulfed in this whole like Will Smith, Chris Rock situation still. So I know that there is a lot of people that do not believe that the situation that happened between Will Smith and Chris Rock at the Oscars was real. A lot of people feel like it was staged. I definitely can understand why you guys think that. However, I don't believe that, okay? I definitely am a person that don't trust 99% of the stuff I see online, but I actually do believe that this was a real situation, as bizarre and far out there as it is. So in today's video, again, we're going to be talking more about Chris Rock. The last video, we talked about Will Smith and Jada. And I felt like there's some things you guys may not know that you may want to know. So Chris Rock, a few years back, talked pretty openly on a Howard Stern show about his childhood and things that he went through. Now, if you guys don't know Chris Rock, who has been in the industry, he started out doing stand-up comedy back in the 80s and 90s. He actually started in New York doing his first stand-up role in 1984, which is actually the year that I was born. So almost 38 years ago. I mean, a long time. And he's 57. So he's been doing it literally most of his whole entire life. Chris Rock shared that when he was growing up, he struggled. His parents had quite a few children. I believe he's got 7 siblings. And he talks a lot about being bullied while he was in school.
That was just a horrible existence. The closest character I can relate to is Tim Robbins in The Shawshank. Every day was hell. And I got my ass beat, and I got physically fucked up, and sometimes some sexual shit happened, and yeah, like I wasn't rape, but bish.
He talked about getting off of the school bus in a school that he was bused to. He says that he lived in a very poor neighborhood and he was bused to a school that was also very poor. He said he would get off of the bus and students would be standing there holding signs saying, "Go home N-word, and that he was always really little and skinny, and that he got picked on, he got pushed around. He even told a story about like this one bully actually hanging him upside down by his feet and shaking the money out of his pockets. You know, the type of thing that you see on television? Well, that actually happened to him. There's even been a television show that is named Everybody Hates Chris. Some of the scenes in there are inspired by Chris Rock's life. I actually love that show. Did y'all know Everybody Hates Chris is inspired from Chris Rock's life? Anyways, but he had it really, really hard. He got beat up, pushed around. He had horribly low self-esteem and was always feeling bad about himself. And he said that even still to this day, he considers through a lot of therapy that he has what he calls a big ego, but low self-esteem. And he says that he has to have that big ego in order to believe that he's funny enough to stand on stage and do comedy, but his self-esteem is so low that he doesn't really feel like he's very good at it most of the time. He definitely does not feel like he is worthy of love and friendships and attention. And so it's been this internal battle for Chris his whole entire life. Chris talks a lot about how the comedy is really what gave him a reason to live for. You know, that was his thing. And he laughed at his own pain. I mean, many years ago, and maybe even up until recently, he would come out and do stand-up shows, and he would tell stories from his childhood in a funny way to get people to laugh. And that was his way of coping with it. So even though these stories seemed horrendous, he did it in a jokingly way, but they were real stories. These types of things really happened to him. He even did an interview where he talks about like his trauma. He said that he, you know, when he remembers something, he feels it like it's happening all over again. And when I heard him say that, although I'm not a doctor and I can't diagnose him and I don't know his diagnosis, it reminded me a lot of like PTSD, things that I go through even myself. And it is such a helpless feeling. Okay. It's such a, especially like you think about Chris Rock. Chris Rock is a mega millionaire. He is a star. He is loved by many. He is a, you know, a pillar in history. He is iconic. He has broke barriers for decades and he's just very well loved. But when you have something like trauma, like physical triggers or PTSD, you can definitely feel like all the money in the world cannot stop your body from reacting. See, you can go to all kinds of therapy and get your mental health as strong as you can get it. But when you see certain things and that trauma hits you and your heart starts beating and you start sweating and you can't breathe, there's nothing, you can't control that. That is literally a physical response to something, and it leaves you feeling trapped in your own body. He talked about having that trauma response. So Chris Rock would later go on to drop out in the 10th grade. And then that's when he pursued his comedy career a little bit after that. He did not go into depth about the SA that happened, but he has mentioned it multiple times that he was even used in that way in school too. Chris talked about going to therapy as he was growing up and says that even to this day, he spends 7 hours a week in therapy. But before that, he was encouraged by a friend to go have a certain evaluation because this friend kind of thought that maybe he was on the Asperger's spectrum. But when he went and had this evaluation done, he realized and was diagnosed with nonverbal learning disorder. And what that means, as much as I could find from researching it and putting it in layman's and simple terms, is that Chris does not pick up on nonverbal cues. You know, like if I'm, you know, or you guys know, if you're with your husband or your wife somewhere and you're ready to go, you get real quiet and maybe you're that talkative person. And then, you know, your husband or your wife asks you what's wrong. Oh, nothing. Oh, I'm tired, right? Those are nonverbal clues. I'm ready to go. I'm tired, you know, or, but those are still even words. But like if you're over there like, you know, falling asleep, that's a nonverbal cue. Well, he does not pick up on those. Okay. And so especially think back in the 80s and the 90s, that had to be so difficult because we didn't have as much knowledge of mental issues as we do now. And so because of that, Chris said that he has struggled in all of his relationships. Well, that's one of the reasons. We're going to get to the other one here in a minute. But he's struggled in all of his relationships. And it is also said that 73 to 90% of human communication is nonverbal. 73 to 90% is nonverbal. verbal. So when you think about seeing Will and Jada at the Oscars and Jada smiling and then, not that Chris could have seen down there anyways with light shining in his eyes like that and being on stage in order to pick up cues from her, but could he have picked up on that anyways? Or has there been jokes that he's told in the past that maybe somebody did not come directly to him and say, hey man, that's hurtful for this, Maybe he didn't pick up on it. Now, I'm not taking up for him because I will mention this briefly. I have seen some issues or jokes that Chris Rock has told about Jada Smith in the past, like she did the Million Woman March years ago, and he did a bit on it and made jokes, but she laughed about it afterwards and did other interviews, so maybe he didn't realize that those were hurtful. I also think that a lot of these comedians, when they're doing television shows, they're given certain jokes to do. But let's move on here. Now, when things really changed for Chris, he said that he was at this party and, you know, he had been bullied his whole entire life. He said that there was a guy there that was bullying him and pushed him down on the ground and then kicked dirt in his eyes in front of some girls. They're standing there watching this, you know, while he's on the ground with sand in his eyes. He got so mad and was so fed up that he got up, he walked home, he grabbed his backpack, he put a brick in it. He walked back and he took that backpack and he hit the guy in the face with it. That guy ended up going into the hospital and he almost died. Like he literally almost lost his life. And that scared Chris so bad. Chris would later say that that moment made him afraid of his own anger. Like the one time that he fought back, that guy almost died. And so he was afraid of his own anger. And he said because of that, throughout his whole entire life, he has allowed people to walk all over him. Family members, friends, co-workers, different women, and he just allows it. And when you hear all of that too, you guys can understand really about like his comedy, completely apart from the whole Oscar situation, like the jokes that he tells, it is his way of coping through everything. And he's found himself, right? In a world where he was invisible, and when he was visibly seen by the people around him, he was nothing. This has given him something, and he is somebody. And then you think about the slap, right? And no matter who it was, taking Will Smith completely out of it, because we've already talked about him, okay? Looking at it from Chris's point of view, like on the stage, slapped, he stood there. He had no idea what was coming. He's like, uh-oh, when he walks on stage. And he slapped, and he's stunned. He's like, Will Smith just smacked the beep out of me. And then when he yells that back to him, Will Smith says, keep my wife's name out of your effing mouth. And he said, what? And he said, I will. You can just imagine, knowing that he has these trauma responses, what that did to him on the inside. Again, this isn't, when I'm not speaking of Will Smith against Chris Rock, I'm just speaking, if it would have been anybody that did that in that moment in front of that many people, what that probably did to Chris on the inside. Wanda Sykes, y'all know Wanda Sykes, absolutely love Wanda Sykes. She is so hilarious. I want her to be my aunt. I just do. I just want to sit around with her on the back porch, you know, in front of a fire and just talk all night long and just hear her laugh. She has the best laugh. And if y'all have not seen Monster-in-Law, you have to see it. It is such a good movie. Anyways, so if you guys did not know, Wanda Sykes and Amy Schumer were also hosting the Oscars with Chris Rock. Wanda Sykes did an interview on Ellen, and she said that obviously when she saw the slap, she felt physically ill. But she said that the first thing that Chris did when he got back there was said, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. And she was like, what are you sorry for? And he was like, this was supposed to be your moment, yours and Amy's. And now all everybody's going to be talking about is this. And when I heard that, I thought, how considerate. You know, like how considerate to think like this was their moment. This was their moment to host something as big as the Oscars. Chris Rock had hosted the Oscars before. He's hosted many things. He has done this before. But this was Wanda Sykes' moment in Chris and Amy Schumer's moment in his heart and his mind. And like that was stolen from them as well as everybody else that won awards for the people that care about those types of things. And all of the sea theories and the things that, you know, goes on maybe behind the scenes with this type of stuff, people buying awards and all of that stuff, all of that aside, digging through all of that mumbo jumbo, there are people that work really hard and are proud to even be nominated and are there and to go there and to win awards. And for those people, it sucked for them too. Now, speaking of Chris Rock, since then, his numbers have skyrocketed. I mean, he was planning to go on tour and overnight, all of his tickets sold out. Boom. And not only did they sell out, the prices went up because they were selling so fast. Representatives said that Chris Rock's tickets went from selling more in one night than they did for a whole entire month promoting it. Now, Chris Rock has not released an official statement as of me filming this. He did do his first show though, and he said that he felt like he needed to address the elephant in the room. And he said that, you know, he wasn't ready to talk about it. He was still in shock, basically, and he got a standing ovation, you guys. It is said that the people were clapping so long and so hard when he came onto the stage that he had to, like, after 2 minutes, had to, like, really tell them multiple times to sit down because they just kept cheering. And people that were there said that it made him emotional and that he actually had tears that he had to wipe away. And I'm just so glad whoever was in that audience, like, good for y'all. Like, that is so good. Like, I'm so glad that but it doesn't change anything, but definitely he knows that people love him and support him. However, at that same show, there was a heckler there that was yelling out and doing stuff, and Chris obviously felt some sort of threatened because he said out loud on stage that, hey, is this guy going to pull out a... And when he did that, his personal bodyguard came out to watch, and they had to escort the guy out. Now, I wasn't there. I don't know what all happened, but they had to escort this guy out, and that couldn't have felt good too. I can probably guess that Chris is going to be on edge at his shows for quite a long time because there may be fans of Will Smith's that try to run up stage and do that. Or, you know, like Wanda Sykes said, you know, every show that they do, are they going to find people that's going to try to be the next Will Smith and do the next big thing, you know, to try to get in the public eye? Because people do that. People will do crazy things to get you talking about them. And that's sucks, you know, that really does suck. And briefly, to wrap this up, talking about Will Smith, he is going through it too. Now, I did see something where it said that Will Smith was mad that, not mad, but upset that he is getting all of this crap happening to him, and that Chris Rock is making a lot of money right now, and I don't know if I believe that until Will Smith comes out and says that himself or releases a statement himself that he's upset about that. I'm just going to take that as hearsay, but I wanted to say it because if not, y'all would be letting me down in the comment section. So I'll say I seen that. I don't know if I believe that just yet. But as you guys know, he did resign from the Academy. And I'm sure if I had to guess, I have to say all this so I don't get in any kind of trouble, I would assume that they gave him the choice whether to resign or, you know, whatever, because the public has been in such an uproar. Now, the Oscars did release a statement saying that they asked Will to leave and he refused. Did they ask or did they suggest? Or did they say, man, we should have to make you leave for this, but you know, I don't know. I doubt that they tried to make him leave and he said, I ain't leaving. The way he would. Anyways, and it is also said that he is getting ready to go before the board and that he has 2 weeks to prepare. And allegedly, according to the documents that I've read at this type of thing, he is going to be in there, it said, begging for forgiveness. And his movies have been put on hold. You know, I guess this isn't like he waited to go backstage and then fight Chris in a, you know, room back there, which wouldn't have been right either, right? But like he literally walked on stage in front of the world and just smacked him. They're not going to be able to let it go, at least in the public, until the public calms down. Then they'll probably, you know, whatever. And a lot of people were saying, why did Chris Rock not press charges? Well, you know, I mean, could you imagine if Chris Rock pressed charges? He would get so much crap from people in the public. It would be worse on him. It really, really would. So what do you guys think? Did you know all this about Chris Rock's past? Does it make you feel sympathy for him? What do you guys think? Do you think Will Smith is going to be all right? I think as far as his career goes, if he wants to keep making movies, he's going to be just fine. Now, I want to know what's going on behind the closed doors in that house with Will and Jada, because there's one thing I'll tell you, because me and my husband have been watching stuff together. If that would have been my husband, there's no way I would have let him walk up there and embarrass himself like that. No way. I wouldn't let him do that in public. If my husband was about to get into it with somebody at the Walmarts, I'm going to make sure my husband, not that I have to worry about that with him, but like if I did, I want to protect my husband. I'm here to help mine. You know what I mean? We're a team. Like, I don't even want my husband to say anything out of line to somebody, I just can't understand. But then again, there's a lot of history there. That will be a whole nother video. Anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. I will be down there reading you guys' comments. Can't wait to hear y'all's opinions. Other than that, I will see y'all on Friday for our true crime story of the week. I love you guys. I hope you guys have a great day, and I will talk to you later. Bye.
We are dreaming in the dark. We are nothing more than dust.